as it does and maybe emerge on the Bay of Campeche late tonight into tomorrow morning as maybe a Category 1, 2 hurricane, maybe intensifying for a second landfall here near Veracruz, between Veracruz and Tampico, Mexico. The biggest threat then at that point will be flooding. And even some big waves expected here into Texas, maybe 6 to 10 foot waves from this, but it will not make a U.S. landfall. And by the way, Hurricane Dean will be the first Category 5 landfall in the Atlantic Basin since Hurricane Andrew 15 years ago. Again, maintaining its strength, making landfall right now, bearing down on these islands just to the east or north and east of Chetumal here in Cayo Puerto or Cayo Norte and Cayo Central. And again, moving right here, right along the coast now, the eye wall coming into this area. Again, landfall is imminent as this moves off towards the west. Of course, we have hurricane warnings up for that area. Now, Cancun, you guys, we're still going to see some big waves here, not as high as we're seeing in that right front quadrant, though, where we could see maybe up to 12 to 18-foot rise in the water, plus on top of that, how about 30-foot waves on top of that? So with a Cat 5, that's what you can expect. Of course, wind's going to be a problem. Flooding may be an issue, but this is moving so quickly across the Yucatan. Right now, the biggest threat, this will be like a bulldozer going across the Yucatan as a Cat 5, weakening as it does, though. So damage there, power lines down, catastrophic damage expected. Of course, beach erosion, even as far north as Cancun. So that's the latest here on this hurricane. We'll keep you up to date on this, and hopefully Jim Cantore will be joining us here with a live shot from Puerto Aventuras, Mexico. Right now, let's get an update on some of the...
It's amazing. You can see it's just breezy, basically, here. But we did get a call about midnight tonight, local time, and they were telling everyone in the hotel, some 400 remaining guests here at this all-inclusive resort, that they wanted them to move to the convention center, which is where they are now. Jorma Duran's with me, and he's gone over to that area to check on those people and see how they're doing. But, of course, they've made all the comforts for them. I mean, they've got food over there, they've got shelter for them, and they just kind of want everybody in one place as the weather continues to deteriorate. We do expect it to get worse here, even though this thing's coming on shore now. Remember, we always talk about how the whole core just collapses and that intensity spreads out. So we could certainly get a stronger gust. But right now, guys, we're doing good from about Tulum on northward to Cancun and Cozumel.
All right, you got to take a look at this. Upended cars, down trees, power lines. Oh, it's the damage left by Hurricane Dean as it cut past Jamaica. Now, and some more of the amazing videos sent in by our Weather Warrior viewers. Keep them coming, and we'll have more.
Possibly for our own Jim Cantore, who is there at Puerto Aventuras, Mexico, and we'll be getting live updates from him here during First Outlook over the next 3 hours.
All right, this is a live shot now from Puerto Aventuras, where Jim Cantore will be reporting live here at the bottom of the hour. Hurricane Dean coming ashore here in the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 5. Catastrophic damage possible. We'll keep you up to date on this.
Category 5 bearing down on the Yucatan Peninsula at this hour.
Hurricane Dean, as it's striking Mexico, landfall is imminent in the next few hours as the eye is ready to come ashore here. And notice the horizontal rain. I mean, we're talking about winds around the center of this of 160 miles per hour. So you know that's got to hurt. Now, right now, the center coming in right here, as you can see, right here between Cozumel and Chetumal, right here. So it looks like Cancun and Cozumel not feeling the strongest part of this hurricane, thank goodness, but there will be beach erosion, significant beach erosion, possibly some power outages here as well. But definitely, as that eye wall comes ashore, right here is where we're going to see the most damage with this. Right now, the movement's at west at 20 miles per hour very quickly, and the pressure, again, 909 millibars. It did get down to 907 millibars a couple of hours ago, but it's come up a little bit. As it begins to interact with land, we should start to see this weaken as it comes quickly ashore as well. So again, a Category 5, a very strong Category 5 hurricane, the first one to make landfall in the Atlantic Basin since Andrew. So what is the projected path? I know folks here in Texas watching this closely, but we are confident with high pressure to the north, this will continue on a westerly track, making a second landfall in Mexico, where flooding is going to be more of a concern, because as this moves across the Yucatan, it is going to weaken, and it is going to get back in the Bay of Campeche late tonight and tomorrow, and then make a second landfall. All right, joining us now is Jim Cantore. Cantori from Puerto Aventuras. And Jim, I know you are north of where the center's coming ashore, but what kind of conditions are you feeling there?
Yeah, Jim, we got rain and squalls and whatnot. It's kind of the equivalent, as I was kind of thinking about how to tell our viewers, it's like being in West Palm Beach, Florida, okay, when Andrew came into Homestead. So, you're so far away from that eye wall, that core of destruction that you wouldn't even know what's going on to your south. But, folks, believe me, it is going to be catastrophic about 100 miles to my south. I mean, we're talking about places like Chetumal, and the farther south you get here in this Mayan Riviera, the more rural it gets, if you will. I mean, you have very poorly constructed buildings, and if people did not heed the evacuations there, we are going to have a major loss of life.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that was done, and people have gotten out of harm's way, because this thing, again, coming in, as we mentioned, Kim, at 907 millibars. For the folks at home, that's 8th all-time in the pressure category in the Atlantic Basin, which is pretty phenomenal. And when you think about this, even Gilbert, after 1988, which was one of the lower pressures, came into Cozumel at an estimated pressure of about 900 millibars. So, another Category 5 joining Camille, Andrew, also joining, obviously, Dean here with this three or four of them since 1969. So not many do that, not many landfall here. The good news is everyone here, we are at the resort, is hunkered down in the convention center. They woke everybody up about midnight tonight and said, hey, we want you all over there. We got kind of carte blanche for that because we told them what we were going to do when we got here. So we're out broadcasting and obviously out of harm's way. But because of the rain, the heavy rain squalls that are coming in, it's hard, and you may notice that our signal goes in and out. And so hopefully we can get out there in front of the camera and show you what's going on as weather improves. But right now, we're getting the worst of this, and we probably will continue to get it for the next couple of hours. We'll keep you posted here on Mayan Riviera. Back to you, Kim.
All right, thanks, Jim. And, we're talking about, as this comes ashore, the storm surge with this. We're talking about a 12 to 18-foot rise in the water right there in that right front quadrant, right in here. Plus, you add on 30-foot waves on top of that. Again, catastrophic damage expected. Now, this is moving so quickly. The biggest threat right now will be the wind, the devastation from it. But also, we will see some heavy rain, but it's moving pretty quickly. So flooding, there may be some, but that'll be a bigger problem here for folks in Tampico and Veracruz as it makes its second landfall. So there's where the hurricane force winds are coming ashore now. Again, right around that concentric eye wall is where we're seeing the strongest winds of 160 miles per hour. Now, hurricane warnings, again, issued for the area, of course. And then we have hurricane watches from Tampico all the way here into the Yucatan, where in the next 24 to 36 hours, we should start to feel hurricane conditions here. Now, after landfall, what can we expect here? Well, of course, we're going to expect devastation here around the Yucatan as it moves quickly like a bulldozer across the region. Rain, wind, even in Campeche expecting it. By this time, it should be a Cat 1 or 2 as it weakens, again, losing that water source. But then gaining strength again, possibly getting to a Cat 1 or 2 back into the Bay of Campeche, and then making landfall again. The bottom line with this hurricane, it's extremely intense and dangerous. It's capable of catastrophic damage near that center. Conditions on the Yucatan coast deteriorating as we speak, and landfall, tropical depression. And on the 14th, it became Tropical Storm Dean. On the 16th, became a hurricane. Friday morning, the 17th, the eye passed between St. Lucia and Martinique as a Cat 2. Saturday, Dean became a Cat 4 as the outer fringes lashed the southern coast of Hispaniola. Sunday, Dean's eye passed just south of Jamaica. The island felt winds of 168 miles per hour. Now, Monday, Grand Cayman Island felt the fury, and Monday night around 8:30, Dean became a Cat 5, and again, a very dangerous Cat 5 as we speak, about to make landfall here in the Yucatan.